guys, welcome back to Neatly Planned. It is time to get back into my work planner. I am using, this is the Teresa Collins Big Happy Planner. Again, like I told you guys, I've pulled my stickers, and all of these stickers are from Happy Illustrations, the light blue color story, the student blue sticker book, the Faith Warrior, and then also the big Rainbow Happy Planner book are the sticker books, and I'll link them below. I want to go ahead and get into this. I also tried to zoom in so you guys could get an up close of how I'm planning, so you guys can see I have a long starting list of events this week in my work planner. So again, if you guys are new to my channel, as I'm laying my boxes, I will tell you what will go in there, and then once we're done decorating, we will go in and actually write these plans in. So let's jump into it. Let's talk in more planning. Okay, so I always start by the day, so we're going to start with Monday. Monday morning I have a meeting. Well, let's actually lay a little washi, because I feel like the washi always it might get lost. So let's lay some washi to kind of correlate with these pink lines. Really, it's like a peach. And just have my little scissors here. I'm just going to cut it. I will need all my writing space this week. And again, if you're new to planning and you're trying to figure out how to make decorative, functional planning, I'm going to try to walk you guys through my whys on where I lay stickers, how I leave room for unexpected things, or what I do in the case of that. I'm also going to film a new work planner setup video, just because I have updated my work planner setup and have made it a little bit more functional, and added some things in there. So I definitely thought it was time that I updated that video. Also, again, we're going to talk more about productivity. The decorating is nice. I don't decorate as heavily as I used to, because my job is a little bit different now. So I do need all of my writing space. That is part of the reason why I switched to a big. I told you guys before, I keep a lot of work documents with me, so I like having the big where I can print something off quickly and punch it right into my planner, and so that's just what works for me. Okay, we're not gonna get too crazy with the washi, but I did want to have a little pop of color. Believe it or not, it is so hard finding blue stickers in Happy Planner, so I had to dig very deep to get the blue stickers that I'm using for this spread. All right, so we got our washi tape laid there. I'm gonna try to make sure I stay in focus. I pulled some others just in case we wanna add a little bit more. But let's go ahead and lay that first box for that Monday meeting here. Monday is going to be a long day, and so we need to get our mind together for that. Okay, so Monday, my first meeting, I think I actually will use this one here. And this is just one of those like double boxes, and I'm just cutting it just a little bit there. Okay. And I'm gonna take one of our decorative elements. Let's see. I thought these they look like they're little succulent planters. And so I thought that contrast, the blue and what is that, blue and brown, would be really cute together. Okay, so that's for our first 8:30 meeting. So we're just gonna go ahead and knock that off. I always encourage you, if you're new to planning, to have a pre-planning list. That way when you go to decorate, you know where your stickers need to be. It just helps you, again, when you want to get overly decorative, it helps to pull you back to make sure you're getting your must-have items in your planner. Always thinking too, you can always add additional note pages for additional writing space, but again, want to maximize your actual planner, and so being more strategic with where you're placing your stickers. Okay, so I have a meeting at 8:30 on Monday. I also have a meeting at 10. I'm going to move this just a little bit. I want that to kind of actually hang over a little bit more. I don't know if I like it overlapping or I think we'll do it like that. Okay, so we have our 8:30 and 10 a.m. meetings. Okay, so then I also have a follow-up. So it is basically after we have, I work in organ donation, so after we have a case that is completed, I send what's called an outcome or a follow-up letter to the hospital staff members that have worked with us on that case, giving them an update on where we were able to place organs and things like that. And the nurses that work those cases are always excited to hear what that outcome was. So I try to make it a point to do it in real time for them. So I always try to do it within the week of that case taking place. Okay, so let's go ahead. We need a reminder for that. Let's see. I think I actually will just do a little remember. Okay, and all of these things, again, I kind of use my top box as what I like to call my 3 before 10. So your 3 most important items that you need to get accomplished for the day, I do it in my top 3 boxes. My top box. My top box is my must do for the day. And then again, I have other things that I put down at the bottom, but you always see my top boxes are heavier unless it's like a time thing that kind of falls down. Sometimes I will put, depending on what type of week it is, sometimes I will use this bottom box as like personal things if I just don't want to decorate another planner. So there's ways that you can lay out if you're using a vertical layout, how you can kind of organize your boxes. I'm going to put a reminder sticker on this one. And I like balance. So if you feel like one side, you're going to one side decoratively more, kind of just shift things to angle at the other side. Okay, so we have our donor follow-up letter. What it needs to do is really an email or in person sometimes, but due to COVID, we're not going in person to do them. Let me shift this over to make sure we're still in focus. Okay, and so the last thing, I have a meeting with a friend. I'm helping them do their expense report. One of my good friends, he is not coworkers, he does not like technology, and we switched our expense software, so we trade off. He helps me with stuff and I help him with his expense report. Okay, so then I'm going to add my to-dos down here for that day. And those will just be like my bullet items. So additional things that may be added or action items after our department meeting that I will need to update my director on. I like to put those kind of down there too as bullets. And some people get, kind of hung up on like, oh, if I put dots there, do I have to write something there? Yes, no, I mean, it's up to you. If you have nothing, it's fine, but I kind of just like to lay them because usually after our meeting, we have some kind of action items that we have to report back on within a certain amount of days or by the end of the week, typically. Okay. All right, so expense report with Jeff. That can just be a bullet. And we'll pull some of these. And these single sheets here, this is from one of the Joann's big boxes. Box kits, that were like exclusive to Joann's. These are where those dots come from. So if you're curious of those. And again, I'm just using contrasting colors. So it's a little bit of teal. Depending on where you are, these colors will read either like purplish or blue. So just mixing all of those together. All right, so we have all of our Monday items. I'll just do a quick overview to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. And once I have that done, I will highlight that day so I know that I'm done with that. Okay, so we're gonna move on to Tuesday and look. And on Tuesday, I mainly just have, when I'm looking at this, I have 2 reports that are due that I need to get completed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually use one of my bigger boxes here. And we're gonna pull in one of our like trio planters. So I just think that would be cute hanging from here. And it's okay, like things can hang off. I mean, don't like box yourself in, like everything has to fit just perfect in a box. It doesn't. Again, it's your planner. There's no right or wrong way to plan. And I'm just covering up the black because I just feel like it's a little, it doesn't go with the theme that we kind of have going. And I don't like having the header the exact same color, so what I'm going to do is pull in some of this striping faux washi. And I'm just going to put that at the top there, and then so that it looks like I'm getting some additional color. Okay, and that's going to be where I'm going to put like my check boxes for getting those 2 items for all pending and my medical record reviews done. So let's pull this, and we're going to get 2 of our little arrows as well, again, because then when we write in it, we know what needs to go in there. I'm liking how this spread is coming together. And again, I feel like pre-pulling these stickers is like speeding up my planning process. Not that I didn't think that it would be helpful, but again, when you own a lot of sticker books, it takes time to flip through. And so like, again, if I'm watching TV, I can go ahead and just flip through sticker books, grab them by the color or whatever, you know, the theme I want my layout to be. And I just feel like it just speeds up the process again. So we can talk more about the planning process and why I choose to place things, and not so much flipping through sticker books, wasting valuable planning time. I like that sticker, I just don't want it there. Let's see if we can make it hang off a little bit. Might need to do a circle. And I'm gonna make sure I know I got feedback in the last video. Sometimes I do talk to myself, but I have to remember I'm talking to you guys and I wanna walk you guys through the process. So bear with me as I make critiques each week. I am listening to your feedback, and I want these videos to be as productive and fun as possible for everybody. So just bear with me. Again, I'm all for constructive criticism and getting better. So if there's something that I can do better, let me know in the comments. Let's be nice, you know, in love. Okay, so for Tuesday, we have our all pending report, and we have our medical record reviews that are due that day. And I have a follow-up email that I need to send, and that can be just a dot. And so we are going to pull one of our blue dots for that. All right, so we have that laid. All right, so let's move on to Wednesday. Oh, let's scratch that off and highlight Tuesday because we're done with that. Wednesday is kind of not a free day, but a little bit, I have a little bit of flexibility on where I can spend my time at. So because of that, I'm going to pull this box here. I want to do that at the first part of the day, just in case something comes up. In my industry, this is what we consider trauma season, and so we have been really busy with donor activity, which means my plans, like I can plan all this out, and literally I will start a case and that scratches everything that I had planned for that day. So with my job, I have to be very adaptable, and so when I do have a free day, I have to make the most of it and be as productive as possible. Again, I always say you want to plan things out, but you want to leave a little room just in case things come up. So like Monday is usually, typically, if we weren't working from home, would be my office day, and the rest of the week, like I'm traveling, I'm in my hospitals working. So always when you're planning, leave a little wiggle room. Don't plan it down to the hour, just because things do come up, life happens. And so when you leave a little bit of flexibility there, you can make up if you have a really busy day. Okay, so Wednesday, that's the only major thing that I have planned. Okay, and then let's jump into Thursday. Thursday, I have 2 meetings. I have a 8:30 meeting, and I also have an 11 o'clock touch base that I have weekly with my director. And we just kind of go over where I'm at, like status updates on things. I'm just setting that there. We also talk about just how I'm doing or feeling. The line of work that I'm in, it can be very high stress. We work with death, we work with families very closely, and sometimes some cases, most cases honestly, are very emotional, not just for the families, they're emotional for our staff as well. So our directors do a great job at checking in with us self-care wise to see how we're doing. Especially like with me, my director knows that I work with our local children's hospital. It's also the place where my son passed away at. So she's always checking in with me. Some of our cases are really tough. Some of them are abuse cases. Some of them are just unfortunate. And so she does a great job at checking in with me just to see how I'm doing, making sure that I'm taking care of myself. And I definitely appreciate that because I am a workaholic by nature. And so sometimes she's like, hey, you need to take a day. Like now I am due to take some time off. I have not done that like I should, but I'm making it. Her and I talked about it last week on my one-on-one to schedule some time to just do nothing. Just like now this weekend I have worked kind of on the weekend, and so just making sure I schedule that, putting in some PTO to just do nothing. Actually, I'm going to move this just a little bit. All right, so we have our two Thursday meetings done. I know I will have some action items that I will want to follow up on. Typically, but towards the Mondays and Thursdays, for whatever reason, typically are my busier days, and so I like to always try to get back to all of my emails. I have to kind of put in a block for that. Typically, I do that on Fridays, the last day of the week. Actual workday week, I want to try to make sure I've responded back to all emails and any follow-ups that will need to be done. We will continue just, I lost my train of thought, guys, because my phone beeped, because I'm actively working a case as we speak, and so they just text me to update me on some things, so that kind of threw me off. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm gonna lay these on Thursdays. That's what I was saying. On Thursdays, typically I try to write out what needs to be done or didn't get completed for the week. And on Friday, every Friday, I make a carryover list. So items that didn't get completed or need follow-up, I will write that out on Friday. And then when I pre-plan on Sunday, I move those items over to the new week. So this is where we are at. So let's highlight Thursday. And then Friday is kind of basically what I told you guys. I will check all of my emails. I look at our board to see if we have any active cases that I need to be mindful of. I always will check kind of my time card on salary, but because of the nature of our job, we work over 40, and so I get paid for over 40, which is awesome because some weeks I work a ton and other weeks not so much. So that is nice. Okay, so I want to cover this up similar to what I did with the other ones, but I think I'm actually going to see if one of these are, no. Again, just using little decorative elements allows you to have both a decorative and functional spread. And I think many people struggle, they feel like you have to be one or the other. I'm either functional or I'm decorative. You can be both. It just takes a little bit more intention when you're mapping things out. You don't have to choose. You can be both. Do the same thing, and so we have those, and then I'm going to put a dot here because I know I always put that I need to review my time card, so I'm going to put a block for that. It's a little crooked. Let's just fix that. Again, I kind of like things a little off-centered. It just feel like it fills up the pages and it doesn't feel cluttered. Not liking that. Wonder if we can. All right, here we go. I'm talking to myself. Okay. So I'm just laying a little bit more washi tape here to make it a little bit longer. And then I think that would be a cute little... Let's see. And we're just going to cut this. It says life is lovely. All right, so we have that, and now I want to go in and add a little bit more a few more decorative elements with this. All right. And then I'm going to, now on Sunday evenings are my pre-planning day. And so there are things with my job I have to do every single Sunday that I check. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this don't forget down here. And I'm going to go ahead and drop my boxes. I check a report every single Sunday, and so that doesn't change. So I like to do, I kind of have my routine on Sundays of things that I do. All right. So we have our touch base for Friday. So the weekend on Sunday I have my, just kind of my prep stuff for the week. Let's see, what else do we have? I do have, I like to kind of do like a little mini happy tracker, habit tracker on the weekends, not on the week, during the week of things that I do. So I check my email every day. We have a training document website that we have to do, like just ongoing documents that we have to do training on, and so I check that every day. And so instead of using an actual habit tracker, I'll make this little box my habit tracker for the week. That is a cute girl. I thought she would be cute in the spread, but now I'm second guessing her. Okay, let's just set her to the side. All right, let's see, what else do we have? I'm just going to cut the bottom of this to make it lay kind of flat from the bottom of my page. Same thing, just cutting the bottom of this. You can cut stickers. Don't be afraid to cut them. Make them work for your planner. Do the same thing, just gonna cut the bottom flat. I'm really liking how this spread has come together. All the blues giving me all the happy vibes. I wonder if I want to bring her in down here. I don't mind that at all. That placement is off. Okay, we are almost done, guys. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time playing around. All right, here we are. So I'm going to add a couple more details. Actually add the words up here. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I don't like them there. I think I just need to cut them. And I think I'm going to add a little bit of that lighter blue striped faux washi because we are at the bottom of the page. I want you guys to see that. And again, these are just the little details. They're not about the planning at this point. These are just more little decorative elements. So if you're like, Nita, I'm done decorating, be done, girlfriend. All right. So we are done with that. So I'm going to take just a quick second. I'm going to snap a before the pen, and then I'm going to come right back, you guys, and we're going to write in this planner, and we are going to get things to paper. So give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, now it's time to put pen to paper. We're going to just take our little list here that we had, and I'm going to get to writing. So I'm just going to do one side at a time. All right, so we're going to start with Monday. We have our 8:30 meeting. And you do what works for you. The only time I highlight in my planner also that I use highlighters is for time. So do what works for you. Try some different things out to figure out what works for you. This has just worked for me over the last 3 or 4 years. I used to try to like highlight everything, and it was just confusing, and I was missing very important stuff. So I only highlight time in my planner. And I only use boxes for meetings as well. Okay, and then so this is kind of like my double checklist. So my pre-planning list, I've highlighted it, that I put my box there, and then once I've written in it, check it off. Check it off. Here we have our donor outcome follow-up. Again, just if you're not a calligrapher or whatever, I had to learn to just embrace my personal handwriting. You know, a lot of people are afraid to post after the pins because of their handwriting. It's your planner. It does not have to be perfect. Okay, so we have that donor follow-up. I went ahead and checked that off. And then my last thing here, I have expense report. With Jeff. And so when I'm writing stuff in my planner, I like to write who it's with. For everybody, that's a little bit different, but like if I have a touch base, who is that with? If I'm doing like a work group, who's in the work group? Because it's just, you know, 2 weeks later when I'm trying to remember who I needed to do a follow-up or who I sent that follow-up to, this just allows me to go back, oh, I was working with Jeff, I was working with Amanda, I was working with Tiffany, whoever that is. So that might be a thing that you might need to add, like who, if it says, you know, follow-up email about whatever, write down who you sent that email to or who that follow-up was with. It just, for me, it helps. So that's another little tip you could try. Okay, so on our Tuesday, we have our 2 things that we need to do down here. I'm going to go ahead and write the first one. And this is a report that I do monthly. And this is for, we're in the month of June, so this would be my May all pending report. Okay, and then the next thing that I have for Tuesday is my May medical record reviews. And I use abbreviations in my planner, so if you're worried about space, being able to write, that might be a thing that might be helpful for you too, to use like little work abbreviations for specific things. And then here I have a dot that I need to do a follow-up on an email that I sent. So email Jenny, and then I always say what I'm emailing them about. So about MOA, so memorandums of agreement. Okay. All right, so we got all 3 of those items, and then just double checking to make sure I didn't miss anything. And then again, Wednesday, I need to follow up with White River Hospital, and this is about their new nurse orientations. Some of our hospitals have started back having them, and so I just need to follow up. Some of mine have started them. This hospital, I know that they had stopped having in-person orientations, and so I just need to back up with them. I've been following up with my hospitals every month to see where they are and how they're allowing we would be considered like a contractor back into the facilities. Okay, so I have all of those Wednesday done. Let's switch pages and we're going to move on to our Thursday side of things. So right away, I have that department meeting, HD meeting. And if you guys are wondering what some of my acronyms or abbreviations are, HD is just hospital development. You may care to want to know what it is, you may not, but as you guys get to know me, I feel like it's good for you guys to have an understanding of what I do, just maybe making my planning style maybe adapt to your work and what you do. So again, I want you guys to get to know me a little bit more personal and what I do, because I absolutely love my job. We are helping to restore and save lives every day through the gift of organ, tissue, and eye donation. I'm super passionate about it. So yeah. Okay, touch base with Tiffany, and this is at 11 a.m. And especially if you are working from home, I find it very helpful as well, and I'll go back and write on these, to write down if they are a phone, like over the phone meeting, or if it is a virtual or video call, because again, that lets me know, okay, I need to not have on yoga or active pants. I might need to put on makeup for this meeting. And so that's really good to know as well. So I'll just say this is a video meeting. And this is a video touch base. Again, adapting my planning style and the things that I write down based off of the current time. So this is a video, and then my clinical meeting is also a video. All right, so we have those two things for Thursday, done and done. And okay, so on Friday, I always I'm going to review my emails. I like to always make time corrections. And then the last thing I always like to do on Fridays, after I've made my time corrections, I like to create my carryover events. So I say look at follow-ups. So I'll just say review. Next week is NW. Next week, follow-ups. Okay. So I have those boxes there, and then I just do this little line here so I can check it off as I complete them. Again, do what works for your planner. This is what works for me. And then I need to do this, so I need to check in with my A and B hospitals. All right, so we have that, my touch base with my hospitals. And then the final thing on Sundays, what I like to do always, I like to review the dashboard, which is how we track what we do. So I review the dashboard because on Mondays, we discuss in a clinical meeting any previous cases that we've done. I also like to kind of do a one over on my emails to see if there's something that was sent over the weekend, because we do have cases that we do over the weekend that might need to be moved to my Monday to-do list. So I'm going to say just a quick email overview. Okay, and then I also like to look at QPulse, which is our training site. And then the final thing I like to do on Sunday night, I update my Outlook calendar. And maybe I'll do a video just talking about, if you use both a paper and digital calendar, how to make both of those things work for you. My job, we are required to keep an updated digital calendar, and so how I use my paper planner and how do I make that work with my digital calendar. So again, here is an outline of what I have filled in so far for the week upcoming. We've got all of our action items that had to be done from our pre-planning list onto paper. And again, as the week goes on, we will fill things in. I'll show you guys the finished spread next week. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If there's a particular work video that you guys want to see as far as planning, let me know. Drop it down in the comments. But again, thank you guys so much for your support. And until next time, guys, keep sweet.